Okay, this is an essay that I am currently working on. It's not finished, so if it ends abruptly, that's why. Okay. This starts, of course, in Kansas City in the summer of 1987. In summer, the nights blink bright lights in your eyes, especially so at 2 a.m. when the bars close and you are sent home, your features letting on to your intoxication, unfocused eyes, mouth set crooked. You are pushed out of a small bricked building and onto the street with the rest of the people who have decided to stay out as late as you. You might decide to just go home and sleep, or you might laugh with some of them on the corners of the cross streets, find familiarities. My mother stood on the corner of a street talking to my father in this manner. Who is this handsome man? Who is this petite, striking woman? I'm from Iowa, he told her. Small town. You're not, she said to him. I'm from Des Moines. They smiled at each other. Were phone numbers exchanged? Addresses? Mutual feelings? When you decide to leave, you leave a scent behind, a mark. He might watch you go, or she might wonder who you are. You don't think this ever happens, but it does. It happens with frequency. You just don't know it yet. Usually you feel it when you are older, or that's what they tell you, but you are not that old, and neither am I. He is not the end of the story, but comes certainly after the beginning. I told my mom about him after our first kiss. Living again in Des Moines, in the house she grew up in, the house I grew up in, I imagined her talking to me on the phone while she was in the garage, smoking. I could hear her pausing every few seconds, nodding as she does, though I could not see it, blowing the smoke out of her mouth. I really like him, I said. Good, sweetie. I sat on my bed. I could feel the strange rush of the boy overcome me. I was already invested in him. Still in my pajamas, unshowered, I watched snow fall from my basement windows. It piled outside one of them and made the screens on the outside freeze. Now it was so perfect for him to come into my life in January, the worst month. I told this to my mom, still on the phone. Oh, you would have been fine this month anyway, she said. I didn't say anything, but I doubted it. I doubted being able to take care of myself for another month of being lonely. After heartbreak, I mourned the loss for several months. This I had been doing since November, and it was growing insatiable. Someone knew was the solution. It had to be. The way you handle your emotions says a lot about who you are as a person. I let mine devour me, allow myself to feel so entirely I give myself to the emotion or the person responsible. He did not share this with me when we met. He put his emotions into his pocket and fingered them at various times in the day, never letting them overtake him. He was merely flitting into my life. This I did not know, of course. My assumption up until this point had been that everyone was like me. Everyone felt entirely. How could they not? How could you not want to let linger something so deep? How could you not? Heartbreak starts in the stomach. My mom told me this in the garage one January. It was snowing outside and the air was cold. I could see my breath. I could see hers too, but I could tell when it was smoke. The light from the single bulb made us look tired. Harsh and soft all at once, it seemed to make her curls expand like the edges were fuzzy. Like the point where her hair became the air around it was blurred and she melted into the background. Like she belonged there. She would tilt her head up to blow the smoke out. Hazy, she smoked them. I just watched. Heartbreak starts in the stomach, she told me, like it drops into your bowels. But it doesn't drop like when you're on a roller coaster. No, that's excitement. This is anxiety. She put the lit thing to her lips. Then it moves to the throat, a tightness like you can't swallow, a restless kind of tight. You know what I'm talking about. I nodded. She nodded back, blew smoke out again. She smashed what was left of it in an ashtray, put the ashtray in a drawer, hiding the bad habit. She turned to me. You never feel heartbreak in the heart, she told me. It's like the bad feeling radiates the rest of your body. You feel it in your stomach, your bowels, your throat, your lungs, your head, your knees even. You get sick. You can't focus. Your eyes blur. Why is that? I asked. She shrugged. I don't know. When you're older, maybe you'll find the answer. I've been heartbroken, I said. She smiled. I know, sweetie, but not like this. Not entirely. Who was your worst heartbreak? Her smile broadened and melted away into that garage. It was like a secret, like no one was supposed to see that smile. Was it Dad? I could only recall vague memories left from them, the slam of a front door, crying, pleading, walking in on her in the bathroom with the 4 months later, face streaked red. She didn't say anything except that she was going inside. As she drifted past me, I could smell the smoke mixed with her perfume. I watched as she went in, leaving the door open for me. I looked at where she had stood in the garage where Hazy she smokes them before I turned off the light. Why do you love him? What is it about him that makes you essential? Is it his hair, his eyes, his ears, his teeth? Perhaps his nose, the way it seems as if it were smacked on his face, like whoever created him forgot to blend the features together. Or the way his shoulders seem broad to the slim rest of him. How he walks, maybe? Or how he smiles when he hears you? Does that make you love him? Is it how he talks? Deliberate, drowned, like he is checking his answers over and over before the end of a test? Or is it just what he has to say? How he thinks the same as you, a thin thread being spun between your brains, your neurons. Maybe it's that instant comfort, or the feeling after you fucked. Is it the fucking? No, it's not the fucking. It's not even the kissing. So what is it? Why do you love him?